The knife is an ESEE Izula 2. It's a small, compact fixed blade with a straightforward design. It's extremely functional. I've had the Izula 2 for a long time. I've used it quite a bit, carried it quite a bit, carried it hiking, camping. It's a design that I like very much. Micarta handles, 1095 steel, a heavy coating on the steel. It's really a great design and a great model. ESEE's 1095 is heat treated. Well, what you see it advertised heat treated as is 5557 RC. With the heat treat, they optimize toughness. The steel performs really well in a camping type environment, being used mostly on wood and that kind of thing. The materials that you would cut in that kind of environment simply aren't hard enough to really affect the steel, so the edge holding is great and you never get chipping or anything like that. This model is really a phenomenal piece. I'm really a fan of the Izula 2. The difference between the Izula 2 and the Izula 1 is that the 2 has a little bit more handle length, which really adds to how functional it is. The case that comes with it is small and simplistic and really well thought out. It carries really well. Really makes me step back and think about sheaths for knives. If a sheath isn't well thought out, if it doesn't carry well, you're not going to be as apt to carry the knife. I mean, that's all there is to it. I've bought fixed blades that were really great knives with really terrible sheaths, and they didn't get carried that much. They didn't get used that much. It became a hassle, or I had to buy an aftermarket sheath. ESEE did a good job with this. The clip plate attaches to the knife in various ways of carrying the knife. And it really carries well, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I mean, if you think about it, with any given fixed blade, when carrying the knife on you, a good portion of the time, maybe the majority of the time, it's going to be in the sheath. The sheath has to be functional and has to be as well made as possible, and that's all there is to it. ESEE did a great job with this sheath. I've had this knife for a while, and I've put it through a lot of use, even some hard use, and the knife just keeps on kicking. Even the coating on it just keeps going. It doesn't get worn down easily. The knife doesn't give in. It doesn't bend. It doesn't chip. Nothing. It just kind of stands up to whatever you throw at it. At the same time, I've put this knife through lighter use, making a functional tool out of it, not looking for something hard for it to do. And the knife really excels in that role. Like I said, it carries well, so because it carries well, you can have it on you. It's there for you when you need it. It's not a problem to carry. This is an Izula 1 in Damascus steel. The main difference between the 1 and the 2, again, being the handle length. The Damascus steel that ESEE's using is 180 layers of 1080 carbon steel and 15N20. 15N20 and 1080 steel are they're very similar. The main difference being that 15N20 has 2% nickel. So when they acid etch the steel to bring out the Damascus, it's going to show a heavy contrast between the 15N20 and the 1080. Aside from that, 1080 is similar to 1095, just a little bit less carbon, so a little bit less edge holding. These Damascus models are Rockwell around 57. And that's coming directly from Mike Perrin from ESEE. I mean, I talked to him before doing this review. So I've read other things online. I've read 160 layers and you know, but like I said, I got it from the man himself. I reached out to him. He was receptive. He said, you know, shoot me an email and I'll give you the answers to the questions you want. So I went ahead and emailed him. It was no problem. He was fast with his response. Good people to deal with. I mean, seriously, talk about, you know, being reactive to the knife community and receptive to talking with people. Yeah, the folks at ESEE are pretty good. So the handles on this are G10. These are the full-size G10 handles. I was looking for full-size micarta handles for the Izula 1, and I couldn't find them. I didn't want to go to aftermarket. I was wondering if there was something that ESEE made, but I couldn't find anything for it. Now these G10 handles, they're good. I mean, I don't put down G10, but there's something about the micarta handles of the Izula 2 that I really like. And although these G10 handles are really good, they just don't have the same feel as the micarta handles. But I do like the look of the black G10 handles. I wanted to sharpen this, and I wanted to bring up a mirror polish against the Damascus. I thought that would look good. This is a very basic carbon steel. I mean, you're talking about carbon, a little bit of manganese. 1080 and 15N20 both have a little bit of manganese. Carbon is around 0.75%, and then the 2% nickel in 15N20. But nothing that's going to give you a problem with stones. Doesn't matter what kind of stones you're using. So this was just Shapton's out through 16,000 grit and then a 20K Suhiro. And I moved through the stones no problem, and then moved on the strops. The strop that I used with this was a 1 micron leather strop. The edge came right up. The polish on the edge came right up. This was no problem. The edge came up hair whittling sharp. 15N20 and 1080 steel takes a fine edge. Not overly aggressive, not heavy in carbide in any sense, but it will take a very fine edge, and that's what I got here. And I thought that the contrast against the Damascus was nice. Again, that's what I was looking for. That's what I had in mind. I was pleased with it. I was pleased with how the sharpening went and the end result that came from it. It's a nice knife to carry. If you want to throw a small fixed blade into your EDC, this is a nice option, either the Izula 1 or the Izula 2. The Izula 2 does have better ergonomics for heavy work because of the added handle length, but either one is good, and they're built tough enough that it's probably fair to say that they're bomb-proof. I mean, you'd have to work to damage one of these knives. They're really well made, really well thought out, and they're both models that I'm really, really happy with.